Imagine you walk into your living room after a long, exhausting day. Your dog sprints toward you, tail wagging so hard his entire body shakes, welcoming you back like a hero returning from a dangerous expedition. But then you look at your cat. She's just sitting there on the armchair, staring blankly at the wall, completely indifferent to your existence. It makes you wonder, does this enigmatic creature actually care about you? Or has she simply figured out that acting cute is an evolutionary masterstroke for free food and shelter? For centuries, even the wisest philosophers and modern scientists couldn't agree. Unlike social animals, the ancestors of domestic felines were solitary wanderers of the wild, leaving us to decipher a language of absolute silence. Let me ask you something. Is their indifference a sign of a cold heart? Or are we just completely blind to the quiet ways they say, "I love you"? For centuries, we have viewed cats through a flawed human lens, misinterpreting their quiet nature as cold calculation. We assume that because they don't possess the desperate-to-please energy of a dog, they are incapable of genuine affection. But our understanding of the animal kingdom is often shallow and incomplete. Take dogs, for example. We long believed they simply had a stronger sense of smell, but science recently revealed they can actually smell time itself, tracking the fading scent of the past. In the same way, we have completely misjudged the domestic feline. Because they descended from solitary wildcats who never relied on pack cooperation to survive, their emotional language was never meant to be loud. Their silence isn't an absence of love. It is an entirely different way of being. To truly understand the feline heart, we must move past human assumptions and decode their specific biological language. In the scientific world, breakthrough concepts are constantly redefining how animals perceive reality. For instance, creatures with a high temporal resolution experience time at a completely different rate, seeing the world in slow motion compared to us. When it comes to cats, their affection is rooted in a similar, hidden complexity. Scientists look at behaviors like alo rubbing, where a cat headbutts your leg, not as mere territorial marking, but as a sophisticated chemical exchange meant to welcome you into their trusted social circle. Even more profound is the slow blink, which researchers consider a voluntary lowering of defenses. In the quiet economy of nature, choosing to close one's eyes in your presence is the ultimate declaration of trust. This emotional bond isn't just a comforting theory, it is backed by rigorous empirical data. Just as the famous secure base test proved that many cats view their owners as a psychological anchor of safety, other landmark behavioral studies reveal how deeply animals can integrate into our world. Consider the groundbreaking research of Dmitry Belyaev, who spent decades domesticating wild foxes. His work demonstrated that as these animals developed a genetic trust in humans, their physical traits and social behaviors fundamentally shifted toward companionship. Similarly, when scientists analyze a cat's choice to follow you from room to room or sleep directly on your chest, they see the same evolutionary trade-off. They are voluntarily leaving themselves completely defenseless in their most vulnerable state, offering a living proof of attachment that rivals any laboratory discovery. Yet, we must acknowledge the inherent limitations of our current scientific framework. When researchers design experiments to measure affection, they often struggle to separate genuine emotional attachment from sophisticated survival strategies. Skeptics argue that a cat's preference for human interaction over food might simply be a calculated investment in a long-term resource provider. This brings us to a profound philosophical boundary. Science can map neurons, measure pheromones, and track behavioral patterns, but it cannot truly peer into a creature's subjective consciousness. We cannot definitively prove if a feline experiences the abstract concept of love exactly as humans do. However, to demand that an animal love precisely like a human is perhaps our greatest mistake. Their affection exists on a different spectrum, a quiet, ancient bond that eludes the strict definitions of our laboratories. Ultimately, decoding a cat's affection forces us to re-examine our own place within the natural world. We are not detached observers ruling over nature. We are deeply intertwined with it, sharing an ancient emotional language with the creatures around us. The next time you return home and find your cat staring blankly from the armchair, seemingly indifferent to your presence, do not mistake her silence for a lack of love. Remember that she is speaking to you on a frequency of absolute trust, choosing your quiet company over the vast, chaotic world outside. Perhaps love does not require loud declarations or desperate displays of affection to be real. Maybe, in the grand tapestry of existence, the truest form of connection is simply two entirely different souls choosing to share the same quiet space, finding comfort in a silent bond that words could never hope to explain.